So, bro, how you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
First one?
This will be second one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Second potty.
How was your first one?
First one was good. Done it with the boys back at the class. I've known them for a while.
Yep.
Through league. They just asked me to come jump on. So yeah, spoke about fitness, spoke about mental health, working with youth. So yeah, grateful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really, really excited for this one, guys. This is obviously episode 2 that we're currently on. But yeah, I wanna have a quick chat about how we met. Because funny enough, like we haven't really like connected. I think the first time I connected with you was at the open field session.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to them about that?
Yeah, so towards the end of, we've done it the last 2 years. Yeah. So Coach Mikey, my brother-in-law, been doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing my thing in the gym, and then Coach C was doing his thing. And we were just like, fuck, let's just do something together before everyone goes like on Christmas break. And then, Mikey said he had one of the boys coming down doing content, and it ended up being you. So there was a few numbers down there, and I was just grateful to meet a lot of athletes and a lot of people in our fields, and grateful to meet you on that day.
Yeah, it was funny, like the funny story behind that.
Yeah.
I remember when Malcolm messaged me, I was actually going to finish. Like I was going to finish like TKV work, and my last client was a maternity shoot. And I was over at Brighton. Yeah. And I remember letting her know, I said, oh, this is my last one for the year. Like, you're going to be the last one to finish off with. And then literally, like...
Was that on the day?
Yeah, on the day I told her, like, I spoke to her on the day.
Yeah.
And I said to her, oh, this is going to be, like, you're the last one. So I say, like, thank you, And I was going to do, like, a spill on social media just to let them know, okay, like, that's it.
Last one, guys.
Yeah, last one, guys. Thank you, guys. And then out of nowhere, Michael just messaged me. And he's like, hey, bro... I know it's like a bit last minute, but is there any chance that you're free on Saturday? Yeah. And funny enough, bro, I had work the next day.
Oh, wow. On the Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I had like literally after. Once we finished,
after.
I went to work. Yeah. And I think it was like around 7, 8 o'clock-ish.
Yeah, we kicked off.
Or something around that, yeah. And like I ended up making it. But I was going to finish. I was going to finish the year off, but I ended up doing the content back, bro. I could not be grateful enough for that. Yeah. And even that too, I ended up buying the drone the day before, and that was my first time using it.
Wow, everything just worked out.
Yeah, everything ended up working out that day. So, that's pretty much when I first met you. Yeah. But do you want to talk to the people just about the journey that we've gone through? Because it's only been what, like a week?
A week, but it feels like...
Oh, a few weeks actually.
Yeah, a few weeks, but it feels like it's been a year. I've known you, bro. Like, when you just connect with someone, you just know. You know what I mean? And we did have that common grounds. We hit you up. I said, man, I want to do some work with you and whatnot. And then, like, I didn't know you, like, from class up. I've only met you the once. And then, obviously, I've seen your content on your page. Yeah. I was like, man, this guy's work's pretty cool. So we met up for the coffee, and then I thought it would just be a quick 20 minutes. We ended up sitting for like almost 3 hours, bro. Talking about,
and it's funny, I had work literally after that. Yeah. Which was good. Like, I had time to go to work. And even though, too, we didn't realize that we lived quite close to each other.
Yeah, we ended up, like, asked you where you lived. You're like, at Winnie. I'm like, oh, bro, I'm at Westmead, man. But we got chatting and whatnot, talking about, just talking about life. We didn't even talk about, I think that was the last 10 minutes we spoke about, man.
Yeah, like business stuff.
Yeah, business stuff. But, just those life connections, what you've been through, what I've been through. And, you always want to build that common ground with someone that also that you are doing business with. You know what I mean? Like after that coffee, man, I got in my car. I was like, fuck, that was actually all right. Like we didn't even talk about it. Wasn't even the business side of things. It was actually just that connection with another brother. You know what I mean? That I just met. So I was grateful.
Yeah, I'll be honest, bro. I think that's what's made like our business journey together a lot more different. Yeah. Is that we've kind of brought in the personal connection first.
Yeah, 100%.
And I remember like one thing that you mentioned to me is about loyalty. Yeah. Like you're all about loyalty. Yeah. Like you're there to the end. Yeah. And that stuck to me a lot because it's something that I believe is, especially in the business game, Like it's something that is usually broken down.
Yeah.
You know, people do work for each other, then out of nowhere they just become selfish and
100%.
take it for themselves. But yeah, man, talk to me about your experience. How's your experience like doing work together? How's it been? Because obviously it's been a couple of weeks that we've been.
Been a couple of weeks, man. Like you know, you said something about loyalty, man. That just hit me because one of my clients during the week, he goes, bro, like wherever, like you know what? Because we're just talking about the future. I was asking, what do you see yourself in 5 years? He was asking me. He goes, oh man, like I wouldn't have I don't know, but I know I'm not going to be in the same place I was last year. So you know what I mean? Everyone wants to change. And he said, bro, wherever, you know, Jules goes, I'm there, bro.
Yeah.
I'm there, you know, like, he said, like, so easy for someone else or someone to go find another PT, find another coach, but wherever you go, I'm going. You know what I mean? So loyalty goes, you know, a lot more deeper than that. But for me and you working the last couple of weeks, man, we've been vibing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, first one, like, I already know how you work on the field. I've seen your content, and then I'm like, after that coffee, and like, sweet, bang, I'll just send you a message, what points we want, and then, bro, your content's been on point. You know what I mean? So I don't even need to say anything now. It's just like, come in, do your thing, mic me up, let's go.
Yeah.
Get to work.
Yeah, and just going back onto the loyalty side of things that we're talking about. Yeah, I've really noticed that's something that we both take like strongly. I remember one thing that you mentioned to me, and I remember when we were having coffee together, and I was like to you, oh, you know, when I start, you know, like branding out, pushing out TKV, and I start getting people coming through. I remember the first thing that you said was, what did you say? Do you remember?
What did I say?
So you pretty much ended up saying to me like, don't give me all your guys, just I want you.
Oh, 100%, bro. Yeah. Like when you start, you know, outreaching and growing, I don't want one of your workers, but I want you, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, you always want that, you know, the man. It's like going to a barber. All right, who's next?
Yeah.
Who's next?
And it's funny because
you do like, because I want that guy, you know.
And it's funny, if you notice, it's usually the guy at the front.
Yeah.
At the barbershops. Yeah. Like, it's usually the guy at the front that everyone wants. And then the guy at the back is the guy.
That's you at the front. Nah, I want this guy at the front. I'm waiting for this guy to do my content.
Nah, bro, I'm grateful, man. And you know what? It's something that I don't take lightly.
Yeah.
You know, the words that you've mentioned about loyalty. Yeah. But the fact that you'd want me, you know, to be the guy for you. Yeah.
I think it's important. Like, you know, I'm coming like, obviously, start of the journey and whatnot. You always want to be part of the journey, you know? So I want to be a part of your journey just as much as you're part of mine. Yeah. So.
No, I'm really grateful, man. Really grateful for that. But let's get straight into the podcast.
Let's go, baby. Are we starting now?
That's the thing, bro. That's the thing I like.
Oh, shit. We starting now?
Yeah, I know, man. We're starting, bro. But we've already started anyways.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Andrew Pritchard.
Yeah.
Andrew. So there's going to be people out there that are going to be on the podcast right now that know you, right?
Yeah.
That are part of the Drew Drills family.
Yeah.
Box class, even just your own family, the Pritchard family. But there are going to be some other people out there that don't know who Andrew Pritchard is. So introduce yourself, man. Who are you?
My name's Andrew Pritchard. Pretty much going from the first name Drew Pritchard since high school.
Yep.
What was I doing? So I was doing what I thought I was going to be the world's best forklift driver all my life. Working in warehousing.
Yeah. Where was that at?
DHL, bro. Worked at a number of sites. Yeah, pretty much thought that was going to be my future. You know, obviously found my passion. Family of 8, 4 boys, 4 girls. Full SAR.
Yep.
Full SAR. Yeah, you know, it wasn't easy growing up in little place in Campbelltown called Claymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
shout out to the guys in Claymore.
Shout out. Was it 046 base? But yeah, you know, it wasn't easy. Mum, stay-at-home mum. Dad worked full-time. done the hard yards. Obviously, when us kids got older, Mum went on to do night shift just to make ends meet more for us. So grateful to have hard-working parents, and it kind of resonates, brings it down to us kids. So, I think I'm a hard worker now, you know what I mean? Like, Mum and Dad were working their ass off for us 8 kids. So, yeah.
And so how was your life, like, growing up? So obviously you mentioned that, grew up in Claymore, full Samoan family.
Yeah.
But for you yourself, man, like, how was it for you personally, growing up? Because, we all go through struggles and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Even being in a family. What was your, I guess, struggle that you had growing up in such a big family?
I think the struggle growing up, I'm third youngest. Growing up, it was like, in a way, it was kind of easy for me. Like, primary school, high school, at times where I did get bullied, but times where it was easy for me because I had older brothers and older sisters, you know what I mean? By the time I got to high school, you're like, oh, you're Frankie's brother, or you're Tommy's brother, eh? So in those ways, it was easy, you know what I mean? But at some points where, like, it was hard because at the age when I was starting to hit high school, year 12, no, not year 12, I was about 13, 14 at that time when my mum told me I was, I don't think I told you, but she told me, like, I'm actually adopted. So, which is pretty common in the Polynesian, you're brought up with your auntie or your uncle or whatnot. So, but by the time that age, I already knew, you know what I mean? Like, I had a different last name, looked different, you know what I mean? So, it did kind of hit me, but, as you get older, you start to put the pieces together, and it's like, okay, it all makes sense. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's funny. You did actually mention it to me. Yeah. It was actually at the coffee, like, when we have the coffee.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it's funny, we're getting so deep to that point where, like, I think
we got so deep, I fucking forgot. Like, sometimes I have conversations with people, it's like, shit, did I tell you that?
But I do remember that. That was probably the biggest thing that I took out of that conversation was like, man, I didn't know that. And I remember you mentioning about, like, how that was for you and how much of an effect it made on you.
Yeah.
Even feeling like the black sheep of the family. Like, later on, was that later on, or do you feel like it was like pretty much?
Yeah, no, I always, like, that was a bit later on.
Yeah,
like,
okay,
mid-20s.
So,
and then 30s. Like, I'm 34 this year, and it's just like, like, you understand a lot. You know what I mean? Like, we spoke, like, later we'll probably speak about it, but we speak about, like, trauma. Shit, I don't even understand that. When I was young, and then it's like only started now until I started seeing someone.
Yeah.
Spoke about my trauma. So everything that happened back then when I was 10, 11, 12, it makes sense now. So, yeah, man. Yeah,
so, and you know what? That really, it really puts some sort of perspective in my mind that if you think about it, you only found out when you were getting close to finishing school, and it wasn't until after you found out that you started to feel like you were not a part of the family.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's crazy, man. And I first of all, bro, I do want to say I appreciate you sharing, not just like on the podcast.
Yeah, no.
But even to me personally, because
100.
At that time, bro, we weren't even like that close.
Yeah.
Or, like, in terms of the conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the first time we actually had a proper conversation.
Yeah.
Other than, the conversation that we had together with Michael and Z.
Yeah.
At the open field sessions. So, really grateful, man. Really grateful that you share that, and even on the people that are watching, because I think we both know about vulnerability and how it's not really there with the men.
Yeah.
But the fact that we get to do this, man, like, already, I think we're already breaking generational curses, or we're already showing that we're healing from our trauma that we're going through. The fact that we can be transparent and have these tough conversations.
I think it's like, as I said, it's like, it's common, especially with us Polynesians. Like, I haven't even met my biological mum, so she's over in the islands in Samoa, apparently working in the market. So it's actually my dad's second cousin or something. So I haven't met her yet, but the goal is to hopefully this year go over and just to go meet her and get that closure, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? So,
Yeah.
I know she's reached out a couple of times, like 18th birthday and whatnot, but we just haven't made that contact. So when that time comes, man, you know, it'll come, and I'll be grateful for that. So, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of your mum, you're a father.
Yeah,
that's one thing that we've got to mention.
I am. Yeah, so I am a father. I have a daughter, Isla. She's 6. She just started kindy. So she started kindy and my son started high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
grateful.
I wanted to ask about that. How has it been for you being a father? Because obviously, if you think about it, right, you found out that you were adopted.
Yeah.
And now you get to have the opportunity to be a father. And you have the two choices. Like, you could either make the decision of doing the same thing that you went through, or you could make the change.
Yeah, 100%.
So, how's it been for you being a father, knowing that you found out pretty much later on in your life? That
it's been life-changing, bro. Like, a big word for me that you just used is father. You know, like, just recently, last couple of years, I've got my shit together.
Yep.
You know, big difference finding out you're becoming a dad, big difference becoming a father. So, you know, I think just recently, you know, get older, get wiser, start to put shit aside, and you do have those relationships, especially with my upbringing. I don't wish that upon, you know, my own kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's good, man. It's good. And I could already tell, like, from the conversations that we've had, for where you were before, even that time when we were in the gym, just being you.
Yeah.
You know, just like peace and quiet, and we're doing those, like the real talks together.
Yeah.
And when you were explaining to me and just sharing to me about your journey, it goes to show how far you've actually come. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Man, fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Like, for real, probably, it's right now probably the happiest I've ever been in life, man. Like, last year I set a goal for myself. Big goal was for me to stay sober, stay off. Like, what I mean by sober is like off alcohol, no piss, and off the drugs. So probably my two main triggers that kill me.
Yep.
Obviously I didn't do it alone. I had to see someone. Started seeing a counsellor.
Yep.
Fortnightly, then dropped off to monthly. And yeah, it's probably been saved my life. Not probably, it did. It did save my life. So, you know, wouldn't be here chatting if it wasn't, you know, if I didn't make those steps. But it's just one of those things where you do have to look in the mirror and look at yourself and just like, fuck, like, I had all this outside noise telling me do this and do that, but you got to find your own way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I'm grateful that I did take that step, that leap to want to change. So,
yeah, man. It's crazy. A lot of people don't know that. Like, a lot of people don't know the behind the scenes of you. I think even just family, because I remember doing one of the shoots for you, and like you were sharing that, like, not even my own family knew that I was going through, you know, struggling. And that's a common thing. I don't think it's just in Polynesian culture too, by the way. Yeah. I think it's a big thing in just any other, you know, person out there in the world.
Like, a big thing for me, and I can probably speak for most men, like, I love dealing shit on my own. I don't want to talk about nothing. I don't want to talk about none of my business. I want to work, go home, and just chill, not tell anyone, and just. But what that was doing was I was actually suffering, like, on the inside. You know what I mean? A couple close boys knew, like, and whatnot, but it was actually doing worse for me, like, inside my head. You know, they talk about head noise or the black dog. You know, it was slowly eating me up until a close friend then referred me to a counsellor, reached out to him, and best thing for me, man. So if you're anyone out there that's really going through it right now, like, talk to someone. You know, it's not, you know, we always say it's not weak to speak. So it's always better out than in. So I've started to become more, you know, more open. And here I am on a podcast talking about it. Like, I'll never come on here and talk about my shit, you know, but, you know, if I could inspire one or two or thousands out there, man, like, I'll do it. It's for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, man, this is good, man. This is some really good. It's funny, we haven't got into the
I
main
know.
reason why we got you on, but I think that's what's all about the behind the brand.
Behind the
Like,
brand,
it's about, I think when I look at this logo, for example, and why we started this,
Yeah.
the main thing is, to get into the business side of things,
Yeah.
understand, the journey that you've gone through,
Yeah.
running your own business, being a PT, but then look at it too. It's like we're actually wanting to go deeper behind that, and make it more personalized.
Yeah.
But it's also people out there, man. There's definitely going to be guys, girls out there that are going through something similar than you,
Yeah.
and they want to hear your story. And so, yeah, man, really, really grateful that we've kind of uncovered that. But what I want to do is I'm going to take a quick pause. I've got a little icebreaker that I wanted to kind of get in before we get into the nitty gritty side of business. And what I wanted to do is, like, this is going to be a simple one, man. A simple icebreaker, but it's pretty much, I'm just going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And it is this: provide us 3 boring things that you do, and explain why.
3 boring things that I do.
So this icebreaker is called the boring things.
Okay.
So what are 3 things that Drew does that are boring?
That are boring.
Yeah. And it could be something that is boring to you, and you still do it, or it could be boring to other people.
Boring to other people.
Yeah. So if you think about, there's probably some other things out there that people are like, bro, that's so boring, but it's what you do.
Yeah. Number 1 will be staying home.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, had someone say, how the fuck do you stay home? Like, on a weekend, it's like, don't get me wrong, like, some events I do go out, but most weekends I'm just at home, man, like, alone. I love being alone. It's where my thought process comes in. We talk about family. I've been part of a big family. I've been part of the boys' footy teams, work teams. I go home and I want to stay home alone, not talk to no one. So that's probably number 1, man. I enjoy being alone. Another boring thing. Number 2 another boring thing will probably be just...
Yeah, definitely staying home is boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
Number 2, probably be like training all the time. Like,
Okay.
for me, it's therapy.
Yeah.
For someone else, it'd be like, man, all you do is just train. It's like, man, it's not because I have to train. I get to train. It's
a shift in mindset.
Yeah, shift in mindset. So that'll be number 2 for me, especially in my field. You know what I mean? You're not only inspiring people, but for myself to give energy to clients, I have to train myself physically and mentally. So that's the reason, like, why I train so much. 1, 2, and 3. Third thing that's boring. Sheesh. Another thing that's boring.
And by the way, I'll explain to you why I've done this.
Yeah. All good, bro.
It's something that I think you can take into your own clients and stuff in your own business. But I think a lot of viewers out there will understand. But yeah, so the first one is staying home. You're doing your own thing. Second thing is training.
Is training.
What's your third one?
Third one. But you got me on the spot. This is a good icebreaker,
Good.
man.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, icebreaker. Third one will be... What's another one? Something I do that's boring as fuck. Are we able to come back to that one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's right.
Come back to it.
Hold on to that.
Yeah, hold on. I'll hold on to that thought.
I'll explain the reason why I've done the icebreakers because if you think about it, a lot of people, if I told you what are the 3 exciting things, what's the 3 most important things you do, you'll easily number the 3 things that you do.
Yeah.
And I'm might be spending time with family, or might be the fact that I get to train. That's a job I get to do.
Yeah.
But when you think about the boring things, it's like you're not thinking about that. It's not really a focus.
Yeah.
And so the whole purpose as to why I would bring that icebreaker in is it gets you thinking.
Yeah.
It gets you really focusing on the other side of the life that I guess a lot of people don't really care about, which is the boring things.
Yeah.
But it also brings reassurance for us as businessmen or just business people that, bro, that's pretty much what we do, is we do the boring things.
Yeah.
For example, like a boring thing could be, setting up our week.
Yeah.
You know, that could be one thing. I know that that's something that you do on a Sunday. It could be prepping your week, as in like food, you know, prepping food, which I know that you do too. And so, I think it kind of brings a bit of light that when we're building a business or when we're starting a business, it's important to do the boring things.
Yeah, very important. But yeah, probably you just touched on it. Like the thing that is pretty boring is probably like my Sunday reset.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I feel like I enjoy it, like, you know, doing my week schedule, doing the prep. So probably preparation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, so number 3 will probably be my preparation. You know, it's boring, but, you know, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just repetition. So today is Sunday, kind of scheduled this podcast in and I'll go home, do my check-ins.
And we're doing it earlier too.
Yeah, doing it earlier.
We're meant to do it at 11.
Grateful,
but we brought it up earlier.
earlier.
You know what? That's
Win
good.
the day.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like, I think like entrepreneurs out there that are probably starting or people out there that do have a business, like they understand what we're talking about. They understand about how important it is to prep.
Yeah.
And most importantly, but doing the boring things.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what like industry you're in, there's always going to be something that you have to do that kind of feels like, if you look around, there's not a lot of people that are doing it. It's probably like the 1%ers.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of cuts it out between the ones that are succeeding and the ones that aren't.
100%.
So yeah, but I just wanted to kind of do a bit of icebreaker before we get into it.
Yeah, I love that, man. Thank you, bro.
Something you can take.
Yeah. Something I can take back to clients. I'll just put them on the spot. Yeah. But I love that little icebreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to transition into the main, you know, reason why we got you on here.
Yes, sir.
Which is the business side of things. Like that's pretty much our goal. Like, you know, the people that are coming through behind the brand, our target audience are people within business or that are wanting to start a business. So first and foremost, really, really grateful that you've jumped on board. And just know that the story that you got to share is definitely going to touch people out there too. And it's not just going to be Drew Drill's family and the community, but it's going to be our people. So we're really, really grateful having you on board. So just wanted to dive into, you know, just a bit of an introduction about you. Yeah. So who is Drew and what does he do in terms of the business side of things? We've spoken about who you are as a person. We've touched a bit on what you've done through your journey, being a PT, doing it for 5 years, leaving the warehousing you know, job to be the forklift king, which is something that I remember you mentioning that you still reign supreme even to this day. But so from a business standpoint, who's Drew? What does he do?
So Drew's Drills pretty much came up, obviously PT.
How did the name come about? That's a good start.
Man, the name how Drew's Drills came out. There was one of my mentors, Justin Holland. We worked at so I kicked off. I went full time into UFC, and then I was the new PT. Everyone else had their thing, you know, or whether it was Jason Fitness, this and that, and I needed a name. Then I asked one of my mentors, Justin Holland at the time, and I was just drawing up, and I was doing footy stuff and whatnot, just passing the ball inside the gym. And I asked him, bro, I need like a PT name. And Justin goes to me, oh, you do drills, footy drills and that. Why don't you just put drills or something in there? And I'm like, then I went home and started writing it up, and I'm like, Drew, drills. It was like drills by Drew or something, whatnot. Then I showed him, bro, what about Drew's Drills? He goes, yeah, I like it. So we're stuck with it.
Yeah.
5 years from now. So yeah, kind of just rolls, and everyone just like DD, whatever, Drew. So yeah, it's been kicking on.
Yeah, and one thing I've seen is your logo too.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Our logo, one of the boys at the gym does the content for the gym, Justin. So I'll hit him up. He goes, bro, give me a logo. He goes, I'll just stick with D/D.
Yeah.
So it kind of works. So been a couple of years now since I want to get back into clothing. So I want to get back into that clothing kind of space. So get some drops out. I did some samples about 2 years ago. So a lot of people have been asking, when's the next drop coming out? I go, don't worry, it's coming. So big things to come this year.
So Drew Drills, been in for 5 years.
5 years.
Yep.
Obviously been a up and coming PT. You know, it is a hustle. You know, a few mentors out there. You know, I've always had that mindset. you know, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. You know, and being with I was with my partner at the time, and just having our daughter, it had to fucking work out. There was no second guessing. So best believe when I started at UFC, had no clients. Best believe I went around and just spoke to everyone, introduced myself. I don't even talk about training with them. Go, hey, my name's Drew. You know, I'll be running these classes, this and that. I'll see you there soon. You know, you get some PTs who push that sales pitch too, you know, too much, and like, train with me, this and that. I'll give you the first 50 sessions free, whatnot. But, you know, it comes down to you just being there. You know, people will connect with you, vibe with you, they want to train with you. Then you add that extra training service on a little bit later. So, obviously build up my clientele. Obviously my background being footy and whatnot, you do have a bit of a name already. So, yeah, kind of footy was my background. So I started training some athletes. Obviously love working with general pop as well, focusing on more mobility, strength, normal strength stuff. And then you got your sports specific training and everything we done when we played footy. So came easy for me, you know, having the older bro playing grade, the younger brother playing grade.
Because you're Frank Pritchard, you're Kesa.
Yeah, and Kesa. And then my older brother, Tommy, he was good as well, you know.
Funny, pause on that.
Yeah.
I just realised, like, it just came to my mind now, my brother played with your brother, with Tom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, my older brother at Maryland.
Oh.
Yeah. Back in the A-grade days.
Up the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy.
I just thought about it just then. I was like, wait, I just realised. Because obviously, you said that your family's big.
Yeah.
And I remember, my brother would tell me, like, oh, yeah, like, he plays with, like, one of the Pritchards. I was like, who's that? And here I'm thinking that it's Queso, Prank, you know, one of the big guys. And he's like, oh, it's Tom. I was like, who's Tom?
Yeah.
But yeah, funny.
Yeah,
way it connects, it's funny, like, the last podcast we done with Rob, we done this, like, invisible theory. Like, there's this invisible theory where, like, you know, there's photos of you where you have some sort of connection.
Yeah.
But you're meant to fully connect together.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's something similar to that.
Yeah.
The fact that we're connecting to this level.
Yeah.
Both personal and, like, in a relational terms of business.
Yeah.
But we don't know that in terms of our families, like, they've connected before.
Yeah, wow.
And
crazy.
also, too, Frank Pritchard's wife.
Rama.
Yeah.
Yeah, sister-in-law.
My mum is like, they've pretty much grown up together. So it's funny, It's like how it's all connected.
It's funny how we just connected this year. You know, there's probably times in the past years we've been in the same, you know, same place, but we just haven't.
Yeah, we haven't connected. You know? But one thing I love, though, is that we've connected outside of the bubble. That, you know, the typical bubble of either you're playing footy or, you know, church family. Or, you know, like you've been married into the family.
Yeah.
Like for us, we've actually connected through business or branding. So
crazy.
And man. It's funny too. Another thing that I've noticed is that not a lot of people do. Like in terms, especially our culture too.
Yeah.
Like we don't like really connect through this way.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that we have, because it kind of puts a big standpoint. Because we both know when it comes to business, that it's a different game. To anything out there, especially when it comes to like something that we both can relate to, which is like footy, family, and all that. Yeah. Even just faith. Yeah. Business is a big different ball game. But I just wanted to kind of put that in. You know, at the end, I just realized that now.
Oh wow, man, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Jeez. So we're cousins. Nah, not those ones. Hey, So going back to
what you were saying.
Yeah, obviously what I do and whatnot, services. So, you know, it was for me to jump into the industry. It was easy for me and my footy background. It was easy, you know, with the bro, and then my younger brother, and they'll come home with their bags and gears and that, and they had their training schedules in there, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, wow, that's a big day, especially for first graders. So I'll look at that, like they'll have gym in the morning, promo during midday, field session, the Arvo. So, you know, me in my head, like I acknowledge all that and I took that in. So when I'm programming for, you know, athletes, it's kind of, you know what I mean? And then you add in social media and whatnot, and then you do your own courses, your own self-development, you know what I mean? So, you know, the beautiful thing about being in this industry, you know, you never can know too much, you know what I mean? Or any industry, you know, it's up to you. You know, everyone thinks, bro, you're the best PT because you went and done your certs and that's it. No, man, like you have to go out there and and do your own self-development, learn every day. So grateful with, like, you know, we always, like, if I had the mentality like this when I was in school,
different ball game,
different ball game. Like at school, I didn't go, or I was at the back of you know, the classroom, where I'm doing seminars and courses and whatnot now, or just meetings at the gym. I'm sitting at the front because I want to learn. So, you know, get older and get wiser, and you just want to, you know, absorb as much as we can so we can give that back to clients or members. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And one thing I just wanted to add on to what you're saying, and this is something I'm getting out of you, is this could be a tip out there for the people that are watching, is like, you know, tip number one when it comes to, you know, I don't think it's just the PT side of things. I think it's just in general, when you're doing sales, the goal is to not sell.
Yeah.
As in, like, your goal is not to feel like a salesy type of guy. I know that you're mentioning at UC, like, you weren't out there, you know, wanting to try and get clients.
Yeah.
You're just building rapport, building relationship.
Yeah, that's it. Rapport.
Which I think is something 100%. That a lot of people take for granted, is just building a relationship and not feeling like you're selling something to someone.
I think a number one, like, especially for me in this industry, it's in our culture as well. Like, you just care. Yeah. Number one for me is just care. So, you know, if you see someone doing the wrong exercise, no matter if they're one of the boys' clients or just a new member, it's just like, just care for them. If I see them squatting with their fucking bent over or picking something up,
I've seen a lot,
bro. If I see someone picking up, man, I'll be like, well, keep your back straight, please, or hang back 5 minutes. I'll show you. I'll show you what to do after. So,
and even that too, but that's free game.
Yeah,
that's free game that you're giving them.
Yeah, 100%. You know,
which also builds rapport as you start, you know, growing. Is giving out a free game. Yeah, which is something that I know that you've done to a lot of like your clients. Yeah, but also too looking at the people that aren't your clients, but still wanting to bring that care. So yeah, definitely.
And then just a little tip like that, they'll talk, or 100% they'll hit you up. As for men, you know, what are your rates? This, that. They want to train with you. So and people talk too. They'll tell their friends and whatnot. So
that's another thing too, which is the what we talk like in the business. Yeah, like for anyone there that I knew. You got word of mouth marketing, you know, and that's probably the most powerful marketing out there. You've got social media marketing, you know, you got advertising, but there's no greater trust. Visuals, like that's one thing I utilize, is just word of mouth. And if you see my content, I don't post much. I usually just post where I'm at and that.
I've seen recently, man, you've been documenting the journey, man.
Yeah, slowly.
That's inspiring, man. I love that.
Yeah, we're slowly doing that, and I think now I'm at a sweet spot where I can confidently inside. Which is another tip that I'll give out to people out there, even if I've with behind the brand, but a lot of my people that I'm working with weekly is business people, and so my mindset switched completely of like I couldn't care less what people got. Like I think the only opinions that I care about are the ones that care about me, and I think that's one thing that, like, especially when starting a business or when you're continually like looking at building your business, you gotta have the right people around you.
Yeah, 100%, man. You know that picture I have at home, man, you got to surround yourself with some lions on the same mission. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Speaking of lions, talk to them about this. Because that was one thing that you spoke about.
This.
Yeah.
So pretty much, man, I was going through it, eh? So every August I'll get a tat, my birthday. Just FYI, anyone out there, August 28.
Yeah, this is the PO box.
Virgo season. Virgo season. But yeah, so pretty much with the line, bro. I was going through it. Every August I get a tat. So I done my arm first, do my leg, back on my neck. Last year, about July, just before my birthday, Connie over at Monarch Studio, Livo. Shout out to Connie.
Shout out.
I said to him, because he's done all my island work, and then I said to him, bruh, I want a lion, eh? He goes, a lion, why? He goes, oh, they're just hungry, man. Like, you know what I mean? They're not afraid to hunt alone. So I went with him, sent him the photo, and he goes, do you want that? What do you want it? I go, bro, put it on the front of my fucking neck. He goes, we sketched it up. He done it like a little one. And then I like, nah, do it bigger. Cover my front neck, bro. And he goes, are you sure? He goes, done. He drew it up, done it. He goes, yeah, let's do it. Started doing it. I actually sketched it up. He goes, do you want the mouth open or closed? He goes, bro, do that fucking mouth open, bro. He goes, oh, why? He goes, oh, man, that lion's roaring, bro. Like, me, like, I'm hungry, man. I want to eat this season. So, yeah, big thing for me, man. Love the story behind the lion. You know, a sheep follows other sheep. Yeah. You know, I've always been that. That's been me. You know what I mean? I've always followed the crowd, followed the boys. I think this season and all last year, with alcohol, it was hard for me to say no. So I kind of had to separate myself, whether I was spending a lot of time alone. So I just wanted to become a lion, bro. You know what I mean? Like I'm not afraid to do things by myself, eat alone at a restaurant, train by myself. So that's a big story behind it, man. So every time I look in the mirror, or you know, before I go somewhere, I look in that mirror and I'm just like, fuck, like with that mouth open, like I'm a fucking lion. So kind of resembles, you know, with me a lot, and it's just a reminder for myself of how far I've come. In the time I done it, it was mid last year. So every time I do look at it, it was the time where I was going through a rough time and when I was on the come up. So yeah, that's the story behind it, man.
That's crazy, man. Because I remember you speaking about it on the real talks that we had done in the gym, and you were mentioning about the lion, and I was like, bro, did not even know about it. Yeah. I know that you were tatted up, but I didn't realize, you know, the symbolic meaning behind why you've got the lion and stuff. Yeah. But I think it's also a good reminder too to understand that, you are the leader of the pack. And if there's anyone out there that knows when it comes to business, is that's usually the case. You're the lone wolf. You're the one that's doing everything alone. Yeah, 100%. But there's definitely power behind doing things on your own. Because if you think about it, if you could do it on your own, then you're pretty much unstoppable.
It's the best thing.
But at the same time too, though, we both understand this, that there is power in numbers, and there's power in being surrounded by not just people, but the right people.
Yeah, the right people.
How important has that been for you? I know you've been mentioning about mentors, like you've got mentors out there that's helped you along the journey. Yeah. But also I know that you've got mates out there that are in a similar path. Yeah. How important is that been to you in terms of your business journey?
So important, man. Obviously, in the past, you know, just getting rid. Like we talk about circles, you know, you gotta remove yourself from some. You know, if they're not adding value or pushing you in life, you know, I'm grateful that I do work at a gym where the owner's my mentor, Azza, you know, Toppy, yourself. The boys got a couple of close boys that are PTs as well who do have dreams and goals. So, man, I love that shit. Like, and you just feed off each other. You know what I mean? You're not bullshitting. I shared a post on my story. You know, you got to surround yourself, you know, and with boys who call you out for bullshit. You know what I mean? If you're being lazy at home watching Netflix, bro, use that time to be working on your business. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just little things like that. One of the boys reached out to me and goes, man, how do you have this mentality? I go, man, you got to surround yourself with, you know, with positive boys. You know, instead of meeting the boys at 6 p.m. at the pub on a Friday, you know, get some boys who will meet you at the gym at 6 a.m. Not even at the gym, like go for a walk, do something positive. Have coffee with them, like talking, you know. And just remove yourself from toxic environments. toxic chats. I've been sometimes that's some of the hardest things is just removing yourself from chat, like group chats that you don't want to be a part of, and they're just talking about shit, going out all the time and whatnot. So, a big thing for me, going from a year sober of alcohol, giving it up was being a man and saying no.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing was judgment of others. Like, you're boring now, Drew. You don't party anymore. You're not the party guy, or you're not the last man standing.
That's one thing
anymore.
that you told me.
Yeah,
was I used to be the guy that would go on benders and be the last man standing.
I used to be that guy. You know, I used to be that guy. I'm the last one standing. This and that. Let's get more. I go. But slowly, man, you gotta let the boys play, or you gotta let the men eat. So, I'm grateful I'm eating now, man, but there's still work to be done. So, the show must go on, man.
This is hectic, man.
Yeah.
It's funny, bro. We're 46 minutes in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fuck, feels like 4 minutes.
I know. It doesn't even feel that long.
Bro.
But, bro, I'm so grateful that I got you on board, man, on this. But I kind of want to go real deeper, man. I know that we're already like deep as it is, but I want to get real deep. Yeah.
Deep.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's go, bro.
Now, let's be real, yeah? Running a business, being a sole trader, it's not the easiest thing.
No, bro.
And I can attest for that. And that's the one thing I love about, being one of the co-hosts of Behind the Brand is that I can relate to you in terms of starting a business. I can't relate to you being successful.
Yeah.
I'm still on that journey too, but I know personally that it's not an easy route to go. And so I wanted to go through, your journey in terms of the struggles that you've gone through. Business line. You've spoken a bit about the personal side of things that you've gone through, but in terms of your business, man, I wanted to ask, what was the biggest low point that you went through in terms of your business? Being a PT, Drew Drills. Where do you feel like you're at your lowest point, business wise?
Obviously, we do talk about ourselves and being the most important 1 hour of someone's day. So pretty much the lowest point is obviously the personal side plays a big part in mine. So obviously when I was going through it, and then you take that to work. So the most important thing for me was not to take it to work. You know what I mean? So, and people know, they know your energy and whatnot. So at the lowest point will probably be when I was actually going through my personal stuff. And people know you start lacking, you stop talking to, connecting proper and whatnot. So that was probably one of my lowest points. Dropping off clients, whatnot. You stop on those check-ins. Other than that, probably it's hard. We always know, our own business, it's a hustle. You know what I mean? You always got to be on your game. So business-wise, probably one of the hardest points for me was COVID.
Right.
COVID hit. That was hard, and having my daughter then. So the first COVID hit, I had to go back to warehousing. I had to do what I had to do. Yeah, bro. So 2020, all gyms shut down, everything shut down. We weren't allowed to train at the park. So I looked at my options. I said, I can't PT anyone. I've got to go back to work. So luckily my forklift license was still valid.
Yeah.
Went back, called my old boss, bro, get me in. So by the DHL contract, I was actually, because I resigned, I actually couldn't go back. So I had to go to a agency, and they got me through another warehouse. So ended up going back. Hated it, but I had to do what I had to do.
Oh, man.
So yeah, doing that. Obviously restrictions eased off. Gym started opening up again, and that was a hustle I actually wanted to give up, bro. So I had to rebuild clientele. That was probably hard for me. And then the second COVID hit, and we got locked down again. And I was like, fuck.
Which, funny enough, the 2021 was much worse than 2020.
Yeah, much more worse.
Yeah.
But it eased off a little bit. So I went back to UFC at the time, and then we were allowed, and then that hit, and then I said, fuck, what am I going to do? And then the gyms closed again for a certain amount of time. And I said, no, I'm not going back to warehousing. At the time, we were staying at a house with a garage. I ended up doing the garage up into a gym.
Yeah, wow.
So the hustle mindset played in, and I said, no, I'm not going back to warehouse. I'm going to PT, hustle, and just tell everyone I'm in the area. So I was pretty much PTing everyone in the area, like all day, every day, Monday to Saturday. And yeah, that's kind of where the hustle mindset came in. Obviously, when the restrictions started easing up again, and then gyms started opening up, and then pretty much told everyone I'm going back to the gym. But for me personally and business-wise, like that was a big struggle.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know when it was going to go back to normal, what was normal at that time. But grateful that things did ease up, and then slowly I transitioned back into box class, and then business has been good ever since. So yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge for me was COVID. Like, I found out a lot about myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could have taken the easy one and just went back and worked that 9 to 5, or just believe in yourself, put yourself out there, and just know it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for everyone that supported me during that COVID time and still supporting me now. So yeah,
It's a grind, story, man.
It's a grind, but man, I love it.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask a question about, like, just to touch base on what you're already talking about. So you went back, like, during COVID. Obviously, you mentioned that was probably the biggest low point for your life, business-wise. You had to go back to your 9 to 5. The very thing that you left.
Oh, bro.
Talk to me about that, because I know personally how it is, but I want to hear from you. How was that
when I went
mentally?
Mentally. Like, just going from being your own boss and working your own schedule and whatnot to going back to warehousing. No disrespect to all my boys that or anyone out there working warehouse, but
Likewise,
just going back.
Same thing too.
Just going back to someone telling you your hours or when to go to lunch, having a boss, you know, all that nitty-gritty stuff. And man, I was like, when I went back, put on that high vis again, it's like, you know, I just had to be there. I just had to do what I had to do, you know what I mean, for that time. I knew it wasn't forever, it wasn't temporary. So mentally, I didn't want to be there, man.
Yeah.
But, man, my daughter had to eat, rent had to be paid. So I just put my head down, and I just knew I was going to get myself out again. So I was grateful when restrictions. It was a scary time, man, at that time.
Yeah.
Not seeing family, you know, not living your LGA, only for work and whatnot. So crazy times, man, but we made it out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I can attest to what you've mentioned, because I'm going through that right now.
Yeah.
And same thing, COVID.
Yeah.
You know, COVID was, I'll be honest, bro, COVID was, like, tough on myself too.
Yeah.
But probably one of the biggest blessings, man. Like, the person that I am now, if it wasn't for COVID, man,
Bro.
no way, shape or form I could be where I'm at now. So really grateful for that. But like, currently in my situation, man, I'm still working 9 to 5, but I'm in that season right now where I'm pulling hours back and focusing more on, you know, my side hustle. And I always obviously turn the side hustle to a main hustle. But I had to do the same thing too, man. I had to go back to the 9 to 5.
Yeah, like when you were saying what, like, my process of going full time into the industry, I was doing the same, bro. You shared something on that story about that 9 to 5 hustle, working before and working after your 9 to 5. I was doing the same thing.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that story, when it kind of resonated with me, I'm like, fuck, that was me, man. But it had to be done. You know what I mean? Like, working 9 to 5, warehousing forklift driver. So before 9 o'clock, I would go and work 6 to 8 or 5 to 8 at F45 running group classes. That was my passion. Then I would go home or shower at work, do my 9 to 5, bro, and I couldn't wait to get back to the gym and G people up, because it's what I loved. So then I'll go after and do the 6 to 8 o'clock classes in the afternoon. But at the end of the day, you're wrecked. And then it's those moments where you lay in bed, it's like, fuck, I actually love your side hustle. And then you always just got to, you know, your mind ticks over. And it's like, man, I want to do that shit for life. Like, that's my passion in your side hustle. So, yeah, that process that you're going through now, man, like, I respect it, and I exactly know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's coming, baby.
Yeah,
It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently going through that season now, and I'm willing and able to be open to sharing that. Yeah, because
document the journey.
Exactly.
Baby.
Yeah, I'm going through that season now of, going to work during the week and then doing the hustle. But I even know myself how it is, behind the scenes, because I'm going through it myself. But you already know because you've already gone through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really, really grateful that we're having this conversation, because I think it's an opener for me. I definitely believe that there's other people out there that can relate.
Yeah, just like that, man. Like, especially when you're going through the process, there's gonna be people out there who fucking support you, and there's gonna be people out there that want you to fail.
Yeah, hard.
100%. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I'll share about it now.
Yeah, 100.
A few days ago, we got banned.
Wow,
on Instagram.
I've seen your story. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was at work, funnily enough. I had just finished, clocked off.
Yeah.
And they went on my phone, and I went to post up Rob's reels. And then out of nowhere, it just said, "Oh, you've been suspended."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the hell?" And even something like that, like, kind of triggered me to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, the first thing I thought about was, like, usually people think in that moment, "Oh, snap, I'm just gonna give up." But in my head, I'm like, okay, there's haters out there.
Yeah.
But bro, it wasn't even out for that long either.
Yeah.
Like, it's only out, like, we were only like out like for a week, and there's already.
If it wasn't that long, someone close to you.
Yeah, might be. But like, that's a great example that you're gonna have people out there that either hate on you or they don't want you to win.
Yeah.
And so definitely you want to have the right people around you.
Yeah, man.
But I think if we're going deeper to just you being an individual, you gotta have like the innate desire to continue going.
Yeah.
Like you were mentioning about COVID, you going through COVID, having the innate desire might be going back to your 9 to 5 and understanding that you got bills to pay. Having the innate desire could be going back to your 9 to 5 and then doing, your PT stuff on the side too. So, yeah.
Just having that mindset, man, like just saying, just believe. Just believe in yourself and knowing it's going to work out. Everything will work out. So you just got to keep repeating. Even though sometimes it gets boring, but you just got to, don't even do it for the haters, man. Just do it for yourself, and yourself, you will just grow every day.
Yeah, and so following up onto that, man, did you ever feel like you wanted to, well, you already mentioned it a bit, but was there ever a point where you really asked yourself the question, are we still going to do this? Is it time for me to hang up the boots, as what they would say in rugby league terms? Or in boxing terms, rock class. Shout out to you guys. Is it time to chuck in the towel? Was there ever a moment in your business journey?
At the start, obviously. Daughter being born at the time, I already mentioned that, and not knowing whether I was going to get clients or not. But, just with the mindset that I had and with my personality, I just knew it was going to work out. Like, my mindset when I rocked up to the gym, every PT was busy, and I was the one that just started. I had like 1 or 2 clients here or there, but I go, give me 6 months, I'll be the busiest motherfucker PT in here, and kind of worked out. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're still there.
Hey?
You're still there.
Yeah. So, it just comes down to mindset, man. If you think it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. If you think it's going to work out, it'll work out. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. At times, there have been times where I have failed, but there's weeks where PT's a hustle, and it's very inconsistent. You know what I mean? So there are going to be tough weeks, and those tough weeks do make you stronger. Like, what did I do wrong here? How can I be better? What's the next step? So mentors, you gotta follow. Best thing about social media, you get to control who you follow. People like yourself, my mentors, and then you just put things in place, look at what's next, and
So, it's really good, man.
Yeah.
It's really good what you're sharing. And I wanted to just follow up on that. That being the lowest part of your journey, not having clients coming through or even just having one or two. In those moments, man, what kept you going? Like, what was the fuel to the fire for you? What was like, the moments of, obviously those moments of you wanting to quit, but you're still grinding. I know you mentioned a bit about the fact that you had to put food on the table, rent to be paid and stuff. But for you, what was like that one thing that just kept you going?
I think going back to why I joined this industry and what's my purpose on earth is helping people. You know what I mean? Whether it's physically or mentally, I truly believe it's my purpose. So it was always going to work out. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to go back to warehousing, stuck in like stuck in that box. There was I feel like there's greater things for me, in this life. So as long as I live, like I'm gonna keep preaching out there, as much as I can. So yeah. Fuck, I just got lost in my.
That's
my
fine, bro.
bro.
That's fine, man. But bro,
Yeah.
that's crazy, man. And I think one thing that's really important when you're doing a business or when you're starting or just continuing to is always remembering why you're doing what you're doing.
Purpose,
I always think about the what versus the why. The what is what keeps you focused. The why is what keeps you going.
It keeps me going.
It's like the what is what's on your mind.
Yeah.
The why is what's in your heart.
Why?
And
100%.
I think one thing that a lot of people tend to forget is the heart side of things. What's the fuel to the fire? What's the emotional connection as to why you're doing it? I know definitely for the Polynesian community, it's about family. It might be making a change in your family, but I know definitely for majority of people that can relate to it, it's very. And this is something that's in my mind or that's been on my heart is, bro, I just hate being poor. Growing up poor.
It's funny when you say that, being poor and whatnot as well. So in the hustle and then in especially my industry, you speak about the what and then you speak about your why. You connect with people, and then as long as people they know you're genuine and whatnot, like the money will come after. I've realized where I've come out, spoke about mental, like my mental health. My footy background and family and whatnot. I have a daughter, and then people would resonate with you, and then they would want to connect with you, and then they'll talk to their friends. They talk about, and then money will come after you. If you do all that work, money will come after. Obviously, being at the start, you got to give that free value.
Yeah, have to.
You know what I mean? So, you were saying about being poor. You probably grew up same situations, like 100%. We all grew up that,
Yeah, just a bit about my story too, just for those out there that can...
Yep.
So I grew up fatherless.
Yep.
So in terms of fatherlessness, like I had a father that was in and out, right? Just in the family, here or there, come out.
Yeah.
And grew up with a single mum, and one of 6 now. Used to be 1 of 5.
Wow.
But I have a little sister. She's 10 months old.
Yeah.
And I'm 26 now.
Hey, big bro.
I'm 26.
Congrats,
yeah. So, like growing up was a struggle, and not having a father around was tough.
Yeah. Wow.
But definitely grew up poor, and obviously everyone's definition of poor is different. So I don't want to put out there that I was the poorest guy out there, but to me I felt poor. And it's probably one thing that really sticks to me, like day to day. It's the reason why, I do the grind. You will know, doing the late nights, editing for me, going to shoots before I go to work. Yeah, is that I don't want to. Well, first of all, I don't want to go through the poor life anymore. But I don't want to build a family where we're going through that lifestyle. Grateful though, grateful that I've gone through it, but I wouldn't wish upon anyone. To go through that. And so that's why I do what I do. It's the reason why we're doing a podcast on that Sunday where I could be resting. But it's a small grind I'm doing now to ensure that later on it pays off. So Yeah, that's pretty much a nutshell my story, man.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yes.
How does it feel? Like, how much how much has it played with you mentally, where all your boys, myself, grew up with a father, and you didn't have that? How much has that played with you, played a part in your life?
I would say that it's made me who I am now. I think you'll understand why I'm so like caring and so genuine and so like transparent, and it's mainly because I didn't get that.
Yeah, well.
And if you think about your life, usually the things that you do now and what you learn, what you yearn to get in your own life is the very thing that you needed when you were younger. The person that I am now is the very person that I needed. You know, just the guy that I wanted, or just the guy that would just come out randomly, just have a chat.
Yeah.
I needed that when I was growing up. But if we're going deeper, that's exactly what I needed from my father, and he wasn't there. And in terms of my relationship and just like internally with myself and my relationship with my father, I'm probably like the only person like out of my family that is okay. In terms of the fact that like whatever you've done, I've accepted the reality that he may or may not be around in terms of like my life, but I don't hold any grudges. And I think it takes a lot of how can I say it? Yeah, it takes a lot for you to accept and forgive someone that you've been constantly asking for promises and stuff. You know, like I was with my father, he was constantly like, oh, I'll be here, I'll be there. Yeah. Especially when it comes to like footy, man. Like he'd be like, I'll be at your games, and I'll never forget. And this like hits me a lot. And I wasn't even prepared for this, so thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, man, I love this.
Or asking me this question. But I remember, like, you know, I'll be on the field. Yeah. And the first thing I'll be doing is I look back. And I'm just like, crazy. Where is he? Yeah. And even right now, like I just think about it, like he doesn't know that I'm doing this. You know, he doesn't know that I run TKV, that I'm doing a videography, photography for businesses. He doesn't even know I'm doing this podcast. But it's definitely a journey that I'm wanting to go on. And I'm not trying to do it for anyone else. I'm not trying to do it so that I could get my dad back or, you know, to even just help my family just in this season. But it's definitely something that has kept me grounded. The fact that I haven't had a father. But it's definitely the reason why I connect so well. And I think you now understand why I connect so well with boys, like the boys. Whether it's you, whether it's Michael, whether it's Z. I have this, I wear my sleeve. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And the reason why is because I needed that. I needed someone like that. So instead of me trying to look for that model, I became the model. Yeesh. Yeah, so...
wow.
I appreciate that.
Mind if I ask you another question?
Yeah, bro.
Is the goal one day to become a father?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone knows me personally, they already know that I carry that trait of being a father. Like a good example I'll share is so my fiance, she has a younger brother, and I think he's turning 9 this year. Yeah. And when we started dating, we were like, he was like a baby. Yeah. And so I've kind of been I've gone through doing life with him growing up, and like there are times where I could be doing business stuff, but I choose to invest time with him. Yep. And it's funny, he's kind of been my guinea pig of like, you know.
How old is he now?
Oh, he's turning 9 this year. But when I came into the family, it was like 5 years ago. Yeah, wow. So he was probably like around 3 or 4 years old. And all he's seen is the guy that I am now. Yeah. Like, that's all he's seen. Like, Josh is like there. And I didn't realize that I was doing that. Like, I was kind of being that father figure to him. He has, like, his father is there. Yeah. But I was kind of being like that older brother figure to them. But I didn't realize later on, I only started realizing this recently, but I was actually doing things that I wish my father did to me. You know, spending quality time, just being there because you want to be there. Yeah. And I didn't get that when my father was around. Yeah. But yeah, definitely something that I've learned over time. Not having a father. But yeah, it's good.
Hey.
I'm grateful that you asked that question.
Nah, man, best.
It kind of brought me back.
Nah, that's good, bro.
Yeah.
When that day comes, man, you're gonna be the best father, bro.
Yeah.
So
something that I continue striving for.
Yeah.
But always been on my mind that I wanted to be a father. But right now, it's crazy though, because I've actually been getting asked by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, when are you gonna become a father and all that?
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just playing my cards right.
Yeah, that's it.
I gotta be strategic, man. Like, would I want to have a kid and struggle harder? Right?
Yeah,
Which you could
especially in this day and age, man.
Yeah, cost of living,
living,
inflation, or would I want to play the smart game and build the empire now, and then as we go along. Now, it's funny. One of the guys at work, he actually said to me, he's like, "Oh, don't wait for it. Like, don't wait till you become successful."
Yeah.
And I kind of went back to him and said, "Oh, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be poor. Like, I don't want to be that family that's literally just chasing for money. Like, I want to be present with my, like with my kids."
So you kind of want to be set up first before you bring.
Yeah, I'm trying to set, like, at the moment, and it's like what you said. It's about setting the foundations. Like, I know that you mentioned that with your clients. It's like, it's funny. I was doing your edits, and you're talking to the boys about, like, like having staggered feet and stuff like that. And it's like you want to have a strong foundation at the bottom. It's the exact same thing that I'm doing in my life right now. Like, I'm wanting to build a solid foundation with my relationship with my fiance.
Yep.
But especially business, man. Like, I can attest to this from a personal level that I struggled, like a lot of things that we struggled through, like with my own family, had to do with money.
I think it's pretty common too, because I've seen my parents struggle too, and the last thing we want for our own kids is to see us struggle and for them to struggle as well. So we just kind of want to break that, break that cycle, break that stigma. So I understand, bro.
Yeah, and so for me, it's just minimizing it. I'm not looking at like having the solution to the problem, like solving every solution. Solving every problem. That's not the goal. The goal is to minimize it. You know, focus on, looking at the things that I can manage and bring back. You know, instead of us being completely poor, it's like, have at least a solid foundation to start off with. Instead of me not having a father around, to be the father that's there. And I might not be there all the time because I'm working in business, because that's what happens when you're doing business game. Yeah. But it's having that ability to just bring it back a bit, So yeah, man, I'm really grateful.
Crazy. Shit, we're going deep. We're going deep. Deep.
People don't know this,
shit, man. We're rolling. We're rolling.
But yeah, so I'll take it back now, and we'll start like landing the plane. So going back to you, Drew, there are people out there that are listening to us right now that they either are still on the business journey, but there might be some new people out there that are wanting to start. What's one piece of actionable advice that you would give to those out there? Maybe, maybe give it one of each. So let's start off with,
I think,
the people that are already starting business.
Starting off. I think just starting off.
Starting off, yeah.
Just your environment, your surrounding. You want to be in an environment where you are learning from. You do have a mentor. You have someone showing you the ropes. I was lucky enough to have that. One of the boys helped me out. It wasn't even the manager or the boss of the gym. It was actually one of the boys who took his time, his own time, to help me. So very important to have someone like that by your side, and understands the hustle. So especially when I see a new PT training up, or I'm training someone, man, I make sure I give him my time, because I know one day, like, I remember I was in the same position. So I kind of, find a common ground and, like, just remember, like, and just helping people. It's in our nature, A lot of people out there, they don't want to help. They don't want to give out their free gems. They're happy being the busiest, the busiest PT, and not share any of their secrets, where, I feel like our purpose, in life is helping everyone around us. I think so. So that will be environments. Yeah. Having a mentor. Yeah. And then it just comes down to that self-development, not knowing, knowing that, you can never learn too much. So you want to learn every day off different coaches, different mentors, do different courses. Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah. And so what about, so you've spoken a bit about the people that are starting. How about the people that are still in it right now? So think about yourself. Like,
Yep.
Think about the guys that you're doing work with, like in terms of the PT game, they've been there for a while.
Yeah.
What's one piece of actionable advice that you would give to them?
I feel like just grow. I'm in this. Sorry. I'm in the stage now where. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm in that stage where I'm in year 5 now, fitness industry. Being a little bit too comfortable.
Yeah.
You do want to be uncomfortable. So wherever I've got a few things in the pipelines this year. So wherever that may be, you always want to set that bar every year. So pretty much the goal is to not be where I was last year.
Yep.
You know, I do want to grow. Why not, wherever that may be. But yeah, just don't be too complacent. You know what I mean? If you feel like you're in an environment where you're not growing, it's time to, you know what I mean? Time to move on and find somewhere where you want to grow. So that'll probably be one of my main things. Just grow every day, every year.
Yeah.
Just keep building.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Bro, we're going to finish off now.
Yes, sir.
But before we do, there's one thing that we do here at Behind the Brand, and it's that we actually, we want to ask you a specific question that the last special guest had asked. So Rob's actually asked a question for you, being the current podcast episode for today. And so this is his question that he wants to ask you. The question is, what is one thing you want to improve in your business that you know that is holding you back? Shout out to Rob, by the way.
Rob, you're good, mate. You're good. So one thing that I want to improve business-wise that's holding me back is this content.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just having that judgment of others, having that more seen online. Been a bit lazy with my content game, and you know I've always thought about what people think of me, but I just don't give a fuck now. Yeah, that's why we're working together.
That's
so
right.
content game's gonna be up and just building a more online presence. So the goal is to do more online training. So had to bring the man in. Hey, sheesh. Man got the call up.
Yeah, sweet. And so, what we're going to do later on, you know, outside once we finish, is that you'll ask the question for the next one. So the next question that comes in, you don't know, but just ask a generic question for them. And so, bro, thank you so much for jumping on Behind the Brand, second podcast episode that we've done. But yeah, for those out there that want to connect more with you, how can they connect? What's your link?
Follow me on Insta, send me a DM. It's going to be down here.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get in touch with me.
What's the handle?
At Drews_drills.
Yep.
With a Z. So flick me a DM. I'll be in touch with you. Got a special deal coming up. Deal coming up. Also collabing with Behind the Brand. Hit me a DM. First 10 to hit me up. We'll get 20% off PT sessions. What month are we on? Feb. I'll make it all March till now to all of March. 20% off for the first 10. Hit me up. I'll be happy to bring you in for a free consult. We'll be chatting, conversating, and just connecting. So I'll be waiting for your DM. And can't wait to meet you all.
Yeah. So for those out there that are wanting that special offer, just make sure you DM Drew Drills and using the code DD24. 024. Yeah.
That's it.
DD 2024. It'll be all down in the description down below. And it'll be for the first 10 new people. So if you're new, if you haven't done any work with Drew before, make sure you guys send out a DM DD2024 at Drew Drills. But other than that, guys, that's it. That's all we got. Anything you want to share before we finish up?
Nah, man. Love you all. Thanks for listening.
Grateful, guys. That's it. That's all we got for Behind the Brand. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you guys in the next one.